it's hard to believe that anyone would abuse another person regardless of what the topic, but especially when someone would abuse an older person. There is just a special place that person. We have a young person here, so I'm going to be very careful on how I say. But it's just a horrible situation that they would do that. But as an example, and I want to publicly thank the state's attorney, John McCarthy, who Debbie Feinstein works for, but I want to publicly thank him for taking a lead, and the sheriff of Montgomery County as well. It was Darren Popkin, it is now Max Wee, for taking the lead on correcting this. But as an example, in 2021, just a couple of years ago, in Montgomery County, an attorney and a CPA conned an elderly woman out of almost $2 million. The woman thought she could trust the attorney, certainly something reasonable, to set up her estate, but the prosecutor said he took the money for himself. The woman was a 91-year-old church secretary. She was trusting and no family close by to watch out for her and suffered from dementia, a perfect victim of elder abuse. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, as of 2019, Montgomery County had approximately 169,044 people over the age of 65, of which County Executive Elrich is also, and I might add, so am I. That is about, but I know you could realize he was. But that is about 16% of the residents in our county, and the number is growing. The state's attorney's office, which has done an outstanding job fighting elder abuse, defines crimes against older adults as any criminal act involving a victim who is 65 years of age or older. Recognizing World Elder Abuse Awareness Day is important to raise awareness of the cultural, social, economic, and demographic processes affecting elder abuse and neglect. We should not be embarrassed or ashamed to report elder abuse. It is not your fault. If you suspect any type of abuse, you should contact 911 or the local police. You can also call Montgomery County Adult Protective Services at 240-777-3000. It is important for us to protect our growing number of older adults from elder abuse in all forms. Let us make sure our older residents live their life in comfort, peace, and dignity. They worked hard to protect us, and now we need to work hard to protect them. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to the county executive.
Am I older than you?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Like by months?
Yeah, a couple of days.
Couple of days, okay.
Older is older.
That's all. So, so this is a really important holiday, and it's not a holiday; it's an important event. And the having these forums, you just had one at Holiday Park. We've been doing this every year, and this year's was virtual. And I just want to thank John McCarthy also, because he's been really good at doing these events and promoting elder awareness, abuse awareness in the community. And these forums got attended by a lot of people. I think they said 300 people between in-person and virtual this time, and that's good. And that's what makes the proclamation important. If you just did proclamations, it wouldn't mean very much. If we do a proclamation and we actually have programs and people like the people behind us who work on this, that's what makes our work meaningful here. And that's why, that's why we make a point of honoring this holiday. It's not a holiday, this day. I keep thinking about it's a holiday, but it's a day of being aware of and providing awareness of elder abuse. I want to say I've known a number of elderly people who've been abused. I have friends whose parents have experienced particularly financial fraud. And one thing that everybody can do is, if you know an older person and they tell you about some spectacular deal they got, this actually happens. They will sign up for something. They think they're getting cruises. They think they're getting, all kinds of valuable things. And they don't realize that they've been conned. And so if somebody tells you that they've gotten an extraordinarily great deal on something, this is something that you should probe. It's something you should do, because if this is your friend, they don't always realize what's happened to them we may have a better understanding of what may have happened to them. And I think this is a role where everybody in the community can play a part in helping raising awareness and helping people who may have been victims find support. And the county is very willing and able to provide support. So this is a personal thing. I know a lot of people who know seniors who've experienced particularly financial abuse. COVID probably made it even worse for physical abuse because of the isolation that people experienced. And we know that this affected people all across the spectrum. And if it affected everybody, that means it affected our senior population as well. Being isolated and not being able to see friends or have outlets was not always a good thing for people. We think about our children and the impacts that we know that on our children, but it also probably had impacts on our senior population. Speaking of children, hi there. So I'm happy to be here, and I think we're going to turn it over to.
We're going to ask people behind
Yes.
to tell us who they are, and then we're going to call on a few other people to speak, please.
Hi, Kelly Davis, the Program Manager for our Crimes Against Seniors and Vulnerable Adults Unit with the State's Attorney's Office.
Good morning, Odile Brunetto with the Department of Health and Human Services, Chief of Aging and Disability Services.
Good morning. My name is Mario Warzasin, Administrator for Adult Protective Services with the Department of Health and Human Services.
I'm Lieutenant Dave Cohen with the County Police Special Victims Investigations Division.
Hi, Debbie Feinstein, Chief of the Special Victims Division for the State's Attorney's Office and Co-Chief of the Crimes Against Seniors and Vulnerable Adults Unit.
Would you like to say hello? Would you like to say hello? Say hello. Say hello? Okay, thank you. All right. They taught you should always hold the mic, and I now know why. Thank you very much. We're now going to hear from Debbie Feinstein, followed by Mario, but we're going to ask Debbie to please say a few words.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm with the State's Attorney's Office, and and Mario, do you want to come forward with me? So the work in the county with respect to elder abuse prevention and vulnerable adult abuse prevention is a true collaboration. The State's Attorney's Office, the Police Department, as you heard, Lieutenant Cohen is here, and Aging and Disability Services, Adult Protective Services that Mario Warzasin and Odile Brunetto are representing today. It's these partnerships that really work to help prevent elder abuse in our community. We couldn't do it in isolation. We have to do it together because we come at fighting elder abuse from different perspectives, but we all together are stronger in fighting elder abuse. I want to say a special thank you to Mario for chairing our World Elder Abuse Awareness Day event last week that, as you heard from the county executive, over 300 people attended, both virtually and in person. This is a love letter that Mario really does every year in order to really work hard to prevent elder abuse in our community and have speakers and try to bring awareness, because as Councilmember Katz referenced and County Executive Elrich referenced, elder abuse can happen in isolation when people are by themselves, and the way to fight elder abuse is to bring community together, and that's really what all of the individuals that you see here today are doing. I also want to say congratulations on the retirement to Odile Brunetto, who's retiring after many, many years of service to the county and Health and Human Services and being in charge of Aging and Disability Services and doing an excellent job. So I'm going to pass it to Mario.
All right. Thank you, Debbie, and congratulations, Odile. As Debbie has said, the collaboration between our departments, law enforcement, state attorney's office, county attorney's office, emergency medical service, fire rescue, and our community partners makes all the difference. Really appreciate the support of our county executive, our county council, and Mr. Katz, of course, and it was a successful event, so both in person, on hybrid. I think if you count the virtual, we're probably closer to 500, but we'll do a final check this week. Anyway, thank you.
And I also want to thank the County Council and County Executive Elrich for giving us this opportunity today. And just one last reminder, if you or a loved one or someone you're concerned about, you think that they're experiencing elder abuse, please contact either 911, non-emergency police, or adult protective services and report the abuse. Err on the side of reporting. If you have concern, err on the side of reporting. If it's not abuse, okay, but if it is, we want to try to, root it out and make it stop.
Thank you very much. Could we have a round of applause for Adele, please, for her? And with that, Mr. County Executive, would you like to read this? Would you like to start this off?
Sure. No wisecracks. No age before beauty. County Council, Montgomery County, Maryland, proclamation. Whereas on June 15th, 2023, we celebrated the 17th anniversary of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, which is recognized internationally as a day in which the entire world voices its opposition to any form of abuse of senior residents. And
whereas statistics show that approximately 1 in 10 Americans aged 60 and older have experienced some form of abuse that includes intentional physical, emotional, and financial abuse. And
whereas Montgomery County, with a population of nearly 175,000 older adults, has leaders who understand that educating these residents, their families, and caregivers about abuse is critical to its prevention. And
whereas by 2040, the Montgomery County adult population age 60 and older is projected to increase by 35%. Life expectancy is also increasing, with the population of older adults ages 85 and older expected to increase by approximately 77% between 2019 and 2030. And
whereas Montgomery County, as an official age-friendly community, strives to provide a place where all residents can age, thrive, and contribute to making our diverse county a better and more equitable community for everyone. And
whereas Montgomery County has a dedicated elder and vulnerable adult abuse task force, which for the 13th year has hosted a special safety information event in recognition of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. And finish up.
whereas Montgomery County hosted a live-streamed public safety seminar, Building a Safer Community, on June 15th, and in-person viewing parties of the seminar will be held at many Montgomery County senior centers. We urge all community members to join Montgomery County government in recognizing the contributions our elders make to our community and renewing focus on the prevention and response to acts of abuse and against older adults. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mark Elrich as County Executive, Sidney Katz as Council Member, and the full Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, do hereby recognize World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, presented on this 20th day of June in the year 2023.